self-explanatory. It's a box set of all the good albums we put out ages ago, starting late 90s. The albums that were never properly released here in vinyl format, with super duper cool art and the actual box. So that's pretty special too. One Finnish artist painted this kind of odd furry version of the heartagram, the symbol of the band, and I have the original back home, and then we dug it and decided to use it for this. So it's pretty special. And then it has the our first EP called what is it? 666 Ways to Love on vinyl for the first time ever. I think all of these went through a digital. I'm not against, like, it doesn't, for me it doesn't matter if it goes through a digital phase as long as, it stays neat. The first EP was recorded analog, but I think because that's when we just started up, we couldn't afford the masters, so that was the time when the master was moved onto a CD for mastering, and then the tape was reused for the next band. So there's no original anywhere. That's how it worked back in the day. Yeah, if you weren't like Elton John or whomever, So there's no masters for that. And then I think some of the, like Razorblade Romance or whatever, the masters were burned in a fire. I just heard about it because I was trying to look for them for years. There's supposedly a storage somewhere in. I was nearly on the verge of saying whorehouse, but it was a storage somewhere in the countryside of Finland that was, I think it was Sony or Warner's or BMG, whomever, one of our previous companies. They had all their stuff there and it got burnt down. So I think it's digital files, yes, but it's Justin, the guy at Sterling Sound here in New York City. He made a great job, so it sounds wonderful. And then there's people we've known since the very beginning of our, trekking over the United States of America, and they wrote some nice things about us, and and we took all the bad things out. That's the power of editing. Well, I think it's super important to keep that one in mind when doing remasters. You shouldn't make the remaster as different as the original as you can just because you have the technology for doing so. That's the mistake they did in the late 80s and early 90s. If you listen to, Black Sabbath was a classic example. All the CD masters, the original ones, the first CD masters were great because they were just taken straight from the vinyl without any remastering. Then they did the first remaster and it sounded terrible. It sounded like, Bryan Adams on Downers. It just sounded wrong. You had that 80s sheen to it, but then the songs were all about like Vietnam War and drugs.